And my class it's called Designing Feasible Research Projects in Political Science, and it could also be for any social science. It deals with all of the steps up to the empirical analysis. So what we cover is everything from how to choose a topic or a question, how to narrow it down into something that can be actually studied in a paper or a thesis project or an undergraduate thesis, a master's thesis, or a doctoral thesis. How to set that question in the academic literature. That's often the hardest part of a project, figuring out what is your contribution. Is my contribution theoretical? Am I filling a gap where no one's theorized before? Am I dealing with competing arguments? Am I dealing with alternative arguments that haven't really been distinguished yet? You might also be filling an empirical gap, and knowing exactly what you're doing and what the point of your research is, theoretical or empirical, can help you write your literature review in a much clearer way. Another thing that we do in the class is we discuss about how to build an argument, what a causal mechanism is, why is it that we should be focusing a lot of our empirical research on and verifying causal mechanisms rather than variation in dependent variables. We also discuss how to choose the cases to which your argument applies, how to know the universe of cases, how to choose a sample from those cases in order to deal with a whole host of problems like confounding factors, antecedent conditions that can affect your analysis. And so choosing the cases helps you in a way that theoretically fits with the argument is something that can improve the robustness of your results, and it makes your research more credible. So these are all the things that we talk about, and we talk at a theoretical level but also with a lot of practical examples, because the idea of the course, as I said at the beginning, is to design research projects that are feasible and that can be done within a certain amount of time so that you finish on time. What we did in the course this year from a practical level is in the morning I would give a lecture on a topic of the day, for example, how to choose a question, how to set it within the literature, how to decide whether or not you're filling a theoretical gap or an empirical gap, arguments, etc. We had a topic every day that was a theoretical topic, but I gave lots of examples, and that was in the morning. In the afternoons, I often lectured a little bit to finish up any prior discussions that we were having or to offer more examples, and then we would go to laboratory, where in the laboratory we would read articles that are well-known articles on very interesting topics, and students would ask a series of questions about those articles based on what we had studied today. And at the final session, I asked students to work in groups, and they chose a topic that didn't have anything to do necessarily with something that was already published, something that one of them was working on, and then to go through and to design a feasible research project based on that topic. And they presented it in front of the class. And it was through the designing of the project in the laboratory session with the graduate student assistant and through class discussion that they learned how to make all kinds of interesting improvements to the question, to the literature that they were focusing on, to the argument, to the selection of cases on which that they were going to test the argument.